first goal of the match. Lisa Durante to make it 3-0.
Still early days in the Copa Paulino Alcantara, and here we have the debuting side of the ADT going up against a Mendiola team eager for redemption after what was a very disappointing result for them last time around. Welcome to the PFF National Training Center here in Carmona, Cavite. This is the Azkals development team against Mendiola FC 1991. This is the early kickoff in today's doubleheader, and we are proud to bring that to you here. I'm Paolo De Rosario alongside the indescribable Darren Hartman. I've run out of words to describe just how amazing it is to be working with him again. Darren, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you, and it's great to be on the call with you here today, Paolo.
So now looking at these two teams, one of them, the ADT, which is relatively younger than what we're used to. They were already young last year, but they got even younger here going up against a Mendiola team that, if you look at their past result, they were up 1-0 against a 10-man Maharlika FC and ended up losing that one 2-1 in what was a frantic and wild game. You have to say that there's just so much at stake between these two teams. Let's take a look first at the lineup of ADT. We talk about youth, we talk about them being young. Darren, you're so into youth football here in the Philippines, but then there are even some names here that you haven't seen before.
Yeah, there are names on the lineup which, not to a surprise, but I just love the demographic really of the team. They're looking all the way across the country, trying to pick out talents. They've been able to bring in players from other teams in the PFL who are younger, whether or not they're loan agreements or permanent agreements. It's just fantastic to see such a young side being put out. But of course, they still have a few senior players. We're saying senior, they're not that old of age to be called a senior player, but Dennis Chong, who's already had 2 or 3 outings for the under-22s, under-23s, will be leading the line for ADT.
Taking a look at this Mendiola team, unchanged their starting lineup compared to what happened against the Maharlika Manila in their last game. So you have to expect that this is a group that is eager to change things around and make sure that it will be a different result after what was outing to forget for this particular group.
Well, I think in terms of tactical preparation, I think they were ready for their last game. I think where they were unprepared is for the changes as the game, pushed through. But nevertheless, they are going to be out here. Mendiola, they're sitting at the bottom of the table with a negative goal difference at the moment, and I'm pretty sure that they will want to take advantage of having 90 minutes under their belt, and Azkals development team who are featuring in their first game today.
And of course, very, very early days. In fact, 4 of the clubs have yet to see the pitch. So right now we're gonna see the match officials and the teams finally make their introductions here at the PFF National Training Center. And I think this is the time, Darren, wherein since we're done analyzing quickly the lineups, we're now going to shift to a bit of Tagalog. Are you ready, my friend?
Yeah, I'm always ready.
Oh, tara na. So itong ADT, itong Mendiola 1991 going into this battle really with a lot to play for in terms of setting yung tone going into the rest of the Copa Paulino Alcantara.
Well, para sa akin, the AD team is really there to not just develop for this SEA Games, but I think they have a future plan about the upcoming SEA Games or the next SEA Games after that. This is such a young side. I think that the Copa Alcantara will be a stepping stone in the development of these young men. And of course, for Mendiola, with players like Suba, who will be likely to feature in this upcoming SEA Games, will also be an opportunity for the young players of Mendiola to really showcase in front of the coaching staff of ADT what they're capable of.
At para sa ADT, parang audition na to parang tryout na to para sa Southeast Asian Games team. Kasi parte nga to ng build-up ng kampanya ng national team natin sa Southeast Asian Games. But this will not necessarily be the only crop of players that we will select our national team pool from. So a lot to fight for here for these young men.
Yeah, hindi lang yung game ito is a tryout for the ADT players. We have several players who have progressed through our ranks and train at ADT, and I can assure you that it's every single training session is competitive.
This time around, no Matt Custodio, no Mardiano, no Sandro Reyes, no Harvey Gayoso, the stars that lit up the stage last year in the Copa Paulino Alcantara, and also no Camarad, no Olivias, both of them with the national team in Singapore. At si Jetro Borlongan out due to injury. Yeah, we're gonna find a very new ADT team compared to what we're used to or what we have grown accustomed to last season. And exciting times here for the youth of Philippine football, and who knows, we might see even more new faces in the weeks to come.
Well, I think ADT serves a purpose in the league, and that is to develop players, not just for the SEA Games, but also to help keep the PFL sustainable by bringing through younger talents, and also to inspire players all across the country to want to play at this level. And I feel that with Sandro Reyes, Kikkonen, Diano, Matthew Custodio, Harvey Gayoso all moving on to other clubs in the Philippines, and of course moving to big clubs like United City and Kaya, who have featured at AFC Champions League qualifiers or AFC Champions proper. It just goes to show that ADT is here for the right reasons. And yes, we may see new faces, but the purpose of the team and the desire of the players will always be the same.
The ADT in all white, itong Mendiola in the red and black kits, and they will get things started here in Carmona, Cavite. Let's see whether or not ADT can live up to the performances that they had in the last edition of the Copa Paulino Alcantara, or can Mendiola take it to these young stars? Kickoff in just a bit. We await the start from our match officials. Referees ensuring everything is in order before we get going here. And don't worry, kung naiinip kayo, kami rin. Just waiting for this to get going here between ADT and Mendiola. Pero syempre, maraming protocol na kailangan sundin. And making sure everything is right. So at the moment, it looks like there is a bit of an issue with a piece of equipment. The referees just sorting things out, but as we wait for this, Darren, of course, it's going to be a bit difficult playing in these conditions as well. If you haven't been outside lately here in Manila, it's been meltingly hot.
Yeah, it's been extremely hot, and I mean, this game is the earlier of the two kickoffs. It does start to cool down though around 5 o'clock, 5:20. But with that being said, I mean, we're going to have a very hot and competitive first half.
Let's take a look at Scott Woods here. He'll be the captain of the ADT as we await kickoff here. And of course, he's Scott Woods, a relatively new face here for the Azkals development team. Had experience in Tonsberg, Norway. I'm 100% sure I may be pronouncing that wrong. But looking at Scott Woods, he played in the 4th tier in Norway. So interesting to see how he'll do in his debut here in the Copa Paulino Alcantara. He's had approximately around 30 plus games for Tonsberg and even notched a single goal. Based in the States before that, played in the Northeastern State University in Oklahoma. Division 2 football, played as a left back, but then I was talking to Coach Norman right before we get going here to say that he plays a bit of a holding midfielder role, which would be interesting to note considering the fact that ADT, as of late, have been producing good center midfielders for our senior team.
Yeah, I mean, when I was looking at the under-22 tryouts for the last campaign, the centre midfield was completely stacked with players players like Sandro Reyes and Oskari Kikkonen. It's just incredible the amount of options there are in the middle. But the good thing here about Woods is the fact that he's left-footed. So it kind of brings a little bit of a nice dynamic and balance to a team when you can play a left-footed player in the middle of the park.
Right now, I think we're about to get going. It looks like there was an issue with the net behind the goal of the ADT. Or at least that's based on what we see here at the venue as they try to sort that out. Right now, awaiting again kickoff, and here we finally go. Mendiola FC against the ADT. Early goings here, what are you looking for from Mendiola?
Well, Mendiola just need to settle into the same rhythm that they started off in their last game against Maharlika. I thought they built themselves into the game. It took them about 20-25 minutes to settle, but once they had the ball moving around, they looked well drilled and they looked comfortable on the ball, and it looks as if they're already starting to get the ball moving here straight away.
Para sa ADT naman, syempre, there's a level of discipline that we expect from them. Again, a lot of expectations piled on these young shoulders. What are we looking from them?
Well, ADT will obviously look to control the tempo of the game. They will probably feel as a younger side that they will bring more energy, but I don't think that they will be pressing too quickly to start with. They will be looking to be efficient throughout the game, because if they were doing their homework, the Mendiola side did look to tire a little bit against Maharlika.
Well, interesting to note that this ADT team will play with a single striker, and that is Andres Rafael Aldiguer. He is the youngest member of this ADT team. In fact, he's still in high school, plays for LaSalle Zabel. And with him being the sole striker of this ADT team at such a young age, it'll be interesting to see how he does against the physical presence of this Mendiola backline.
Yeah, they've been looking someone really to fill in the boots of Harvey Gioso, who was really a sort of striker who was big but did a lot of work off the ball. And I really felt that ADT did better when Dennis Chong was the player doing the work, in the 10 or just behind the forward. So hopefully he can fit into that role and just sit slightly higher than Dennis Chong.
Franco De La Torre with the foul there, as Woods will try to pull the strings here from the heart of midfield for ADT. We're talking about the keepers as well for ADT, and of course they have a lot of big shoes to fill. Camarad, Pintus was part of it as well. And trying to continue the good run of great homegrown goalkeepers for the national team. Patrick Dato being one of the bigger names that came from the UAAP to become an import abroad. And then you had Camarad develop here as well as Pintus, who now plays for UCFC.
Yeah, it's incredible really when you think about it, the amount of players that have been produced that can play in goal. And
Woods with a great ball trying to find Darapan. And interesting to see just where the attack will come from here for ADT. Because right now, there are a lot of question marks with the guys who you would expect would be the sources of attack here for this ADT team.
Yeah, it's that, and also the fact that ADT were one of the teams to restart their training with this group of players a little bit later than some of the other clubs. I know that Mendiola and Kaya had started their pre-season training a lot earlier. So the team that you're seeing now for ADT is very, very fresh.
Jaime Rosquillo with the throw. Trying to go down the line, trying to get Aldiguer. And Aldiguer, at least looking at him right now, he has a bigger size profile than what we're normally used to in terms of the young talent that have come around in the UAP recently.
I think one of the things that has been apparent also is that the exposure that was given to players such as him, and also to players like Sandro Reyes, they've really made a big effort this season to try to bulk up as well.
Yeah. Because, of course, being bullied by grown men is never fun. Swinging the ball around now. Mendiola trying to take their time, unlock things slowly, moving the ball side to side, trying to look for openings. Ahmed. Suba trying to shuffle that down the right channel, but nothing there. Still very early here between these two. And already it has the physicality that we expected from these two.
Yeah, that was a quick press down on Hamid. And it looks as if Mendiola are still playing with the 3 centre-backs and then be working their right wing-back and left wing-back really hard. And then Hamid's just sat in the middle in the hole, 2 of them side by side, just to give him the extra option in rotation.
Coach for this ADT team is Coach Norman Fegidero, who is a national team veteran from a time beyond my own. But the stories are still there and alive. Of course, a hero from the 1991 Southeast Asian Games, looking to replicate that feat sooner rather than later with this young group here in the ADT. And of course, this Mendiola team under Charles Villanueva trying to improve game after game here at the highest level here in the Philippines.
Yes, that very special SEA Games team of 91 did a lot for Philippine football, not just on the pitch but off the pitch, because a lot of them went into coaching.
Close there from Mendiola, but no one can get contact. That was Sam, who was trying to chase down the ball in the far post.
Yeah, it's a good whip into the box there. And Mendiola will fancy themselves from set pieces against a younger side.
Take a look at that again, as we had Ahmed just whipping that across and really no one able to get to it. Trying to loft that just above the Mendiola backline, but no one there. And you can see just how active this ADT team is pressing and making sure that the center midfielders of Mendiola don't have a lot of time on the ball.
Yeah, but I like the press. It isn't quite as aggressive as their press last season. It looks as if their starting positions are better and they're able to keep players higher up the pitch before they start their press. And
Woods tried to send it back forward. Sorry, Darren. And ADT with half-hearted shouts there for a foul in the penalty area. And Ahmed just so good at his feet. Again, that's the futsal background that's coming into play there.
Yeah, Hamid's enjoying his football at the moment. And I think for one of the senior players on the pitch, he's going to be going into this game with a strong mentality, knowing that there will be a few players who will be nervous to play against him. He's got plenty of tricks in his locker.
Let's take a look at that again. Again, that close control. And JV Kalukuran with the foul. And there it is. Hamed just trying to shift things around, trying to shield the ball, and in the process, Joshua Brose goes into the book. Hamed is one of those players who will attract a lot of fouls because of the way he keeps the ball. And of course, that can play into the hands in a good way for Mendiola.
Yeah, that's the style that he's accustomed to. He likes the ball at his feet. I think his vision is getting better every season. Of course, we know he's a futsal player in terms of his background. But I love the way that he's adjusted to the game. He's a great spokesman for the sport as well. Does a lot of work with young children, so I have a lot of respect for him. And especially every time he does something, try to check, because he does look up here and gives us a little smile every now and then when he produces one of his little tricks.
Well, Hamed is aware that he's on TV right now. In other words, hey, that the fans over at the YouTube pages and the Facebook pages of the Philippine Football Federation, the PFL, are all eager to see what bag of tricks he's got for today. Joshua Brose there, confirmation of his yellow card. Of course, Brose, product of the NU Bulldogs in the UAP. And a lot of college stars here. In fact, some people might say that this could be a UAP All-Stars lineup, really, with a few additions here. So let's see how they stack up against some of the more grizzled veterans of the Copa Paulino Alcantara. Rose. Again, if you were here at the venue, you would have heard it as well.
And I know we were just talking about, the players who went abroad and experienced the football in the under-22s coming back and really working on their physiques. After a season of playing in the PFL, you will toughen up.
Salilig with the foul. So Martin Salilig will be one of the guys here that enters the book early. Already 2 yellow cards in the game already. One on Brose, one on Salilig. And again, this feels like a Mendiola team that's battling with a lot of pride, because the way that they lost that last game, I'm sure left them sleepless for a couple of nights. And that was almost a misread cross in. And because that definitely did not feel like a shot.
No, it was just a cross. They're just trying to hit a good area. And that's just confirmation of the yellow card. And I mean, I think a lot of teams will come out against ADT and because of their age feel that they can put their weight around and bully themselves into getting a result. But we've seen over the past couple of seasons that ADT are resilient to that.
Yeah, and physically they are, if not catching up, actually able to now match up against some of the burlier guys here in the PFL.
Yeah, slightly smaller in terms of physical profile this season around. Yeah. Losing Matthew Custodio and Diano and Harvey Gioso.
Down the line, Aldeguer trying using his body to shield that one. Unable to keep possession though. And things getting a bit muddled. We're seeing a lot of play happening on the left side of the ADT flank. Obviously a point of attack here. Great tackle there coming from Elijah Liao. As Hamed and Aldeguer almost got into it just a while ago.
Yeah, a little bit of off the ball there. That would have been seen though by one of the referee's assistants, but it wasn't called back in.
So far, not many chances between these two. The rhythm not quite there yet. A bit sloppy in the midfield and in terms of their delivery in the final third. And for the ADT team, a bit expected, but then the way that they're pressuring Mendiola from the middle, it makes you feel that this is going to be a game wherein the team that takes maybe that one or two chances will make the difference.
Yeah, you're right, Paolo. I don't think either team has actually settled into any sort of rhythm, and when the ball is falling in the middle of the park, there's not really been that quality that we've seen from some of the other teams in terms of keeping possession, rotating the ball out and keeping the ball moving. So it's just one of those situations where it's going to come down to who can settle down first and who can start playing their game first.
So Hamed Al-Jamedi right now has to have his kit patched up, because that's the type of game that we're having right now in terms of the physicality. He says that the shirt was pulled and ripped, so the referee had to pause play for a bit, and right now he's all taped up, but in a way that I have never seen before in terms of the highest level of competition here.
Be interesting to see whether or not it's been taped up because of blood, maybe being on a white shirt, or
no,
it
was
torn?
ripped. It was torn up, according to our man near the pitch in Sidel Tupas. Salilig unable to keep that. Woods tried to, and successfully does, wins possession. And Salilig just taps it away just to win a few seconds of time.
And I think Salilig there just calling the attention of the referee. He's already been on a yellow and he doesn't really want to be doing anything silly.
Caloocaran trying to find Aldeguer. Chung on the run, trying to get that back, unable to keep that in, but it's still ADT ball. Again, the attack almost exclusively coming from the left side of the flank.
Without either team settling into a rhythm, it's very difficult to use both of the wings.
Chung tried to lay off Aldeguer, and the two players collide there, both trying to get the ball. And it's just one of those 50-50 opportunities that, you know, if you're going to be biased into who had it wrong because of the speed that it actually happened in.
I think when the ball is in that 50-50 situation, both players have the right to go for the ball.
Take a look at this again. Aljazabala and Aldeguer going for it. So, based on that replay, you can see why the Mendiola bench was upset. Looked like maybe Aldeguer left his foot out rather. But again, at game speed, that was just so quick. As right now, opportunity here for Mendiola to cause some disruption. Trying Trying to operate down the left side again. Jim Ashley Flores with the low cross to no one.
I can't believe that we've almost played for 20 minutes and neither team has put together more than 5 or 6 passes.
Again, it's that type of game that we've seen so far. Just so many bodies on the ball. Almost no space to operate in, whoever gets it.
It's
Hold on with a good clearance.
It's almost as if the teams can only think about 2 things, which is be competitive and score. When really the transition of mindset needs to be keep the ball, can I win the ball back? I mean, at the moment, just a real lack of quality.
Josh Brose trying to feed Dennis Chung. Chung, can he get to it first? Yes, he can, but the keeper there to close out the space. Jesse Semblante doing a great job.
That was a good save from the goalkeeper. Spread himself nice and wide, but the attack is not over.
No real support there on that particular attack. Dennis Chung so far with the chance of the game. Mendiola slowing things down again. We've seen that a lot here. Once they get possession, they're content with moving it from side to side with their back line. Deciding now to go wide left. Let's see what they can do on this side of the field. Trying to find Sam. Kalakuran. He's been relatively busy here today.
Yeah, he will be busy with Suba on his right-hand side. Suba really was one of the main outlets for Mendiola during their last game.
Let's take a look at this chance again from Dennis Chung. Again, great goalkeeping, just making himself wide enough and making sure that the ball doesn't sneak in from under him. And you talk about the lack of quality. They're having a hard time stringing passes from the back. Well, that is the brute power coming from Sam. And the referee blows his whistle. And a card is going to come out. The card is going to come out and saying that Sam dove. And it will book him from simulation, it looks like. And the Mendiola player's not happy with the decision that was about to be meted out. Let's try and see if we can get a replay of that. So here is the moment. All right, Darren, I'm going to make you referee for today. What do you think?
I don't very often say this because it's quite controversial, but I think the referee's actually made the wrong decision there. Because when you look at the play, Sam is already past the player. So, and there is most definitely contact, unless we see it from another angle, but there's most certainly contact. But it's one of those situations where if he blows his whistle, he has to book somebody. And I feel that Mendiola have been on the wrong side of the decision there.
Well, Sam will definitely want that back. Based on the angle that we saw, you mentioned that maybe if a different angle was seen, because obviously we don't have the angle of the referee as well. Maybe it looks different, but based on what we saw, well, that's the... Well, you all saw from the replay as well.
Sometimes I like to base that off my natural instinct as a football player, and when it happened in real time and we saw it happen, it actually looked like it was a penalty.
Mm-hmm. Hamed trying to play quickly. Suba now on the right side, barreling down, and no whistle blown, and even the linesman didn't have a foul. So the Mendiola bench, audibly frustrated here, and understandably so.
When that happens, I know that there are rules in place to favour defenders, but in situations like that, where the winger has possession of the ball and is moving at a pace, it's very, very difficult to favour the defender when the contact is actually made.
Here's Suba on the right side, finding Hamed. Ahmed. Kalukuran. Rose. Shifting that wide left. Back to Darapan. Darapan trying to loft that over to Aldeguer. The run wasn't made though, so the defender gets to it first.
There, when the wing is deep, the best decision is, if you've got supporting centre mids to get the ball to, give them the ball, which then gives you more time to get higher up the pitch and support the attack. If you just pump the ball forwards in transition, the overloads will never be in your favour.
Shifting that to the middle now. Trying his luck from way outside the box. And Mendiola eventually clear it. Sam. Running at 3 white shirts. Suba now on the right side. They widen the play here, but is it too wide? Kalukuran could not handle Suba. Suba on the attack. Sam. Better run of play there coming from Sam. Of course, that combination between Suba and Sam is something we have to watch out for the entire game, because the sheer pace of Suba to follow up the freight train-like run of Sam could be a dangerous weapon. Let's take a look at that again.
Yeah, it was just the weight of Sam's pass out to Suba, just asked a little bit too much of him, and then Suba was always really trying to chase the ball, but that's offside.
Pabualan tried to get to it, but then the flag is up. So ADT and ADT right now struggling a bit, trying to string passes from the back. A lot to work on here. If you're Coach Norman. And here for Mendiola's side, though, they're slowly getting into this game, stringing chances together. Let's see whether or not, though, they can make it count with a goal in this half. Mendiola trying to still exploit that right side, and referee saying that was a handball. Zabala thought that was out, but not yet. Just a whoopsie moment there. Shifting things around now to the right side para sa ADT. Going to the middle, Woods. Tried to loft that over to no one, unfortunately. So you can see now that the connection between the players up top for ADT not completely there yet in terms of trying to make sure that the attack is free flowing. It's really not there. Let's take a look at the foul count.
It's just we find ourselves in one of those situations with ADT where it's a completely new back four. When ADT last played, they were mostly playing with a back three, and they had a good rhythm. And I think that all the attacks have got to come from a good rhythm, so players know how to move.
Sam on the right side, unable to control that, but the ball will stay with Mendiola.
You already picked up nice and early in the game that Mendiola set quite a slow pace when they rotate across the back. And that's okay, it being slow, because, I mean, Hamid's movements aren't super explosive. He just drifts. So the slow rotation allows Hamid to drift into good areas. Whereas if you watch the PFL, you would have seen United City's tempo is much quicker because their rotation is a lot wider and they punch their passes hard. Kaya, on the other hand, shorter combination of passes when they build up. But with ADT, not really seeing any sort of rhythm developing out of the back.
Well, let's see whether or not that changes here. Dennis Chung has space down the middle. What can he do here? Chung lays that off. Shot from distance, well off. Well, Brose has been active. Listed as a defender, but then playing as a defensive mid.
He was definitely a little bit fitter last time I saw him playing for NU. He did look like the sort of player, though, that can do this. He likes to shoot from distance.
All right, now, based on that, has to re-earn his license in terms of shooting from range. If you're just joining us here, this is Copa Paulino Alcantara, ADT against Mendiola. And Mendiola, so far, I think it's fair to say, have had the better share of attacking possession, better chances, and had a penalty denied.
If Mendiola were to just settle things down a little bit.
And they might here in this opportunity. Shot from range, no good. Blocked by the first defender. Brose gives it all the way back. Aldeguer giving chase now. Attacking Kim. Ends up getting the ball here. Aldeguer. Two white shirts in the box. Who does he find? Chung. Referee not having it. So right now between ADT and Mendiola. Mendiola been a bit more dangerous in the past few minutes or so. ADT, you could argue, might have had one of the better chances of the game after Chung's effort was saved. But then Mendiola with a penalty denied earlier on. Zabala plays it back to Kim. Now Wade. Wade elects to go long, looking for Sam. Sam, a bit of a miscue. He thought the defender might have gotten to it first.
Would have been a fantastic pass if that had found itself to Sam. That was all the way from almost just inside of the Mendiola half and come from that very slow, patient build-up that Mendiola are trying to, bring into this game.
Woods. Great ball to the harapan, but then the linesman says it's offside. Seeing range of passing from Woods. We've seen a couple of lofted balls. Given time and space, he can pick out the pass.
And that's where percentage football becomes important. He's playing those passes from quite deep. I saw a nice pass that he picked out to Dennis Chong's feet through the lines.
It's nice to see fans back at the venue. Of course, we can't wait to see and hear more eventually. Again, allow them finding their own way here at the National Training Center in Carmona, Cavite. You know, if you come out here, you get a chance to meet Darren Hartman, who really is one of the attractions here at the National Training Center. Of course, Del Tupas, another one. Both of them legends of Philippine football, and would welcome you with open arms here for the Copa Paulino Alcantara. Salilig. Now to Ahmed. Ahmed. He's pulling all the strings in the middle for Mendiola. Releases it. But then they have to go all the way back. Kim. Zabala again. Sam making a run. They're looking for Sam. And the pass finds him. But Kalakuran there to make life difficult. Sam still has it. Tried to give it back to Suba. Unable to connect though. Chung on the run. He sees Aldeguer. But then the pass to no one really. Pabualan was a bit too low to make any sort of run.
And Mendiola are doing very well at the moment, just gathering the ball back in every time that ADT do try to build something and create.
Chance here again for Mendiola with a throw in deep within ADT territory. Unable to find any great pass there. Darapan. Oh, what a tackle there coming from Mendiola. That was De La Torre winning possession deep within ADT territory, but then unable to keep it. Then it's Chong now. By him, lonesome. Tries to go at it by himself, but the keeper wise to it. Well, they say it. You gotta buy a ticket if you want to win the lottery.
That's true, and he did have his head up nice and early there, Dennis Chong, and saw the goalkeeper just drifting off his line. Would have most certainly made a few highlight reels if that had gone in.
Not long to go now here in the first half. Very physical half. As ADT now trying to get to the right side, but the pace not there. And so far, Darren, the connection, again, I have to bring it up over and over again. The connection here on the right, on the attacking end for ADT, not quite there. Been relatively solid defensively, if not maybe physically a bit overmatched at times, but still trying to hold their own and holding their shape. But Mendiola arguably have been a better team so far here in the half. As we take a look at Chung's chance here.
Well, it will go down as a shot on target. But yeah, back to your point. ADT need to be playing those forward passes from higher up the pitch, and that's what I mean by, playing the percentages. If you play a forward pass from deep, it's less likely to arrive where you want it to arrive.
Salilig is trying to make a run from the right side. Kalakuran unable to clear that, and Salilig wins it. Again, it feels like we're mentioning his name a lot, Kalakuran, because of the fact that he's been tasked with really putting a body on Sam, trying to contain Suba when he makes his overlapping runs. Sam now. Salilig. Salilig trying to create something deep within their area. Hamed. Silky smooth feed, and there's an opportunity there for Mendiola. Unable to really clear it. The ball bouncing way too many times for ADT. Playing that forward now, and what a tackle from Kim.
Yes, and it's tackles like that, and it's reading the play and intercepting the play like that, defending on the front foot, is what really keeps momentum with your team, as it stops the opposite team from really building any momentum.
Take a look at possession stats here. Mendiola with a lion's share here, 64-36. Again, this is a very, very young ADT team, and you have to say that maybe their youth is showing a bit here. Dennis Chong, who was playing the number 10 role a while ago, now going very deep, trying to get on the ball more. Darapan on the left side. Ball in, but straight at keeper. Semblante, who has been arguably the busier of the two keepers. Even though he's been busier, I would not necessarily say that ADT had, bigger chances of scoring in general in the past few minutes.
Now, I would say Mendiola are most certainly a team that are in a transition phase. I like the fact that they're playing more football this season than they did in their last season. And it's just one of those things now where they're getting the ball, slowly rotating, slowly getting the ball higher, but they're still picking long, direct passes forwards, which have been hard for Suba and Sam to really get hold of, which is why they haven't been able to create end products.
You remember back in the day when Mendiola was only known as a counter-attacking team, they were so quick off the break, but right now, take a look at them having the lion's share of possession. And of course, Hamed was a part of that as well, just be able to pick out passes, retain possession, and release people down the wings. Wood played that forward, but then the ball will go out for a throw-in.
I think the only thing that Hamid should be looking to do is drift right and left as well, because the play does seem to follow him, and if he stays on the right, the ball kind of gets stuck on the right.
Alucaran gives it all the way back to Tobias, shifting that out now to Liao. Kicking that forward down the right flank. Ball misses a couple of defenders, but then it goes out for a corner. Touch there by a Mendiola defender. So let's see how ADT deal with their first corner of the game.
Sharp eyes from the referee there.
That is Jeremy Darapan lining up here for ADT. Whips that in. And just a wild swing at the ball there, but no real control, and says that he kind of got hurt on his left ankle. Didn't quite see what happened there. That is Elijah Liao, who's been playing center half on the right side for ADT. I think it may have come through the follow-through in terms of after the landing, so didn't see it in that angle. But either way, around 5 minutes and change left here in the first. And Mendiola doing a very good job in pressuring this ADT team and asking a lot of questions from them. But again, really have yet to test the keeper if there's any indication of what they could improve on. Probably shots on target, making the keeper work. As of now, not much really for this Mendiola team. Sam working on Woods. Now on Kalakuran. Kalakuran shielding the ball, and it will stay with the red shirts. Coach Norman just had to smile at that decision. Obviously not agreeing. Salilig. Sam cannot really control that one. Ball in. Good clearance. That was Rosquillo with the header away, and the keeper will collect. Mark Tobias. Elijah Liao. And again, it feels like they cannot get past the halfway point without turning the ball over. Talking about ADT in terms of their build-up.
Yeah, it seems as if they probably need to spend a little bit more time together, just working on the rhythm and the patterns of people's run and when and how they show.
Great stop there coming from Jaime Rosquillo. And a referee whistles for the foul as Dennis Chung hits the deck. Interesting to hear the instructions, because it was so clear as day that even now I know how to play with Ashley Flores.
Well, they've got a partnership working up front, and they're right in saying that, yeah, Sam has got the physique, he can hold the ball up, but Ashley just wants the ball rolled into space so he can capitalise on his strength, which is his acceleration and pace.
Darapan trying to keep that in, but Mendiola doing a good job in stifling the threat again. Gimsu with possession here. And you could hear the Mendiola coaching staff telling him to slow things down, calm things down. And again, this has been signature for Mendiola here in this game in particular. Just slowing things down, moving things from side to side, trying to look for the opening. Yeah, De La Torre coming back down and providing a short option, but instead they go left to Wade. And almost a miscue there between the back line and the keeper of ADT. So it'll be a corner for Mendiola to try and work their magic in. Couple of big bodies in the box here for Mendiola. Wade coming up from the back. Sam, always a presence.
Yes, with the age and size advantage from these set pieces, it's going to be important to make sure that there's plenty of quality on this delivery.
Jimson Crestal to take the corner. Ball played in, and a great towering header there from ADT to get that away. That was Jaime Rosquillo. Trying to find the run of Aldiguer. Aldiguer, stay strong. Pass a bit short, but ADT still have it. Joshua Brose operating now on the right. Finds Aldiguer again, giving it back to Brose. Plays it long, two bodies to aim for. Darapan trying to get it, trying to keep it alive. Darapan. Oh, and that is a crunching tackle, and no doubt about it. We'll have to take a look at that again. Mendiola saying that they got the ball, but from where we were standing, that was a crunching tackle, Darren.
Yeah, the first time in the game really where ADT have been able to put together a good passage of play, and it was a really big tackle. And sometimes when you go in that big and that strong, sometimes the referee is really looking at the intent of the tackle. And Mendiola will argue that they've got a huge amount of the ball there because of the direction that the ball travelled after the contact, but the referee will most certainly be looking at the intent of the tackle there when he's made his decision.
So that is Jim Ashley Flores, the captain. So Ashley Flores came in with a full head of steam, felt like he got the ball. So 2 minutes of added time, and looks like a penalty given here for ADT to convert. So a bit of a discussion here on the pitch. So Flores upset, saying that he got enough of the ball for it not to be considered a foul. Coach Noel Marcaida there on your screen with a few words. Of course, Jeremy Darapan, it's great to see him up despite the tackle. And it will be the captain, Scott Woods, here trying to mark his debut at the Copa Paulino Alcantara with a goal. Jesse Semblante trying to spoil the party.
Great time to score, terrible time to concede.
Woods with a run up. And a cool finish on the right side. ADT up 1-0 after what has been a hotly contested physical battle. ADT have yet to find any real rhythm in this game so far, but then the way that they attacked in what was really their first good attacking move of the game resulted in a penalty, and Woods able to convert as easily as you like.
Yeah, left-footed, just tucking it to the side of the goalkeeper. Nice and cool under the pressure, and opens up ADT's account, not just in this game, but in this campaign for the Copa Paulino Alcantara, and what a time to score.
Halftime break right now, ADT up 1-0 over Mendiola. And Mendiola would actually feel that they were playing the better football, that they've created the better chances, they put themselves in better positions to score, and yet that's how cruel football can be. ADT lead by 1, courtesy of a penalty scored by Scott Woods, won by Jeremy Darapan. And that's also really, it's another kick in the shin, knowing that Mendiola probably had a penalty taken away from them earlier on in the half. So let's take a look at some of the highlights here in just a bit. From a physical, hard-fought first half, there were shirts torn, there was a penalty denied, there was a penalty given, and really not a lot of clear-cut chances in between, Darren. But what did you see from these two teams so far?
It was one of those games where neither team really knew what to expect from one another. We fell into 10-15 minutes of really just the ball not being settled, but it was extremely competitive. And of course, Mendiola will feel hard done by. They had a penalty appeal which went the other way, and Sam ended up getting booked. Then of course conceding a penalty in the dying seconds of regular time to go 1-0 down at half-time.
Azkals development team up 1-0 against Mendiola FC 1991. We'll be right back.
There's an opportunity here, and we've got our first goal of the match. Lisa Torrente to make it 3-0.
Alcantara, where we have the ADT up against Mendiola FC 1991, 1-0 after what was a action-packed first half. Very physical, not a lot of chances in between, a lot of the battle happening in the midfield, trying to hold possession, and you have to feel that the team that'll be cleanest in the second half might come out on top. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that first half, Darren. Here's one of the chances that came out from Dennis Chung, that long ball from the middle, saved there by Semblante. Your thoughts so far on the way that the game was played in that first half?
Well, it was physical, it was well competed. Both teams really looking for opportunities, nice and quick on the counter-attack. Mendiola were the first of the two sides to really try to settle into any rhythm. But really it's either been end-to-end or it's been very hardly contested in the middle. Let's just see how the second half plays out.
So right now, the halftime whistle has started as we're still running through some of the highlights here as we take a look at that penalty stopped by Woods. And here, an early chance for Mendiola that just was skied here. So an early statement of intent coming from Mendiola 1991.
Yeah, the pass out from the back wasn't really taken into consideration the oncoming press of the Mendiola players, and I think when the ball was just rolled into Suba just leant back a little bit and put it over the bar, but Mendiola were very, very close to scoring an equaliser.
So a change here for ADT. Abualan checks out and Takardon checks in. So we're gonna see whether or not ADT can handle increased pressure, because I am sure this Mendiola team know that they can come away with a victory here, and know that if they apply just the right amount of pressure, they can force this relatively inexperienced backline of ADT into a mistake.
And of course, with the timing of the goal that they conceded, I'm sure that Mendiola will come out all guns blazing and want to get themselves back in the game as soon as possible.
Now operating on the far side, the right flank for Mendiola. That has been their flank of choice, really, when it comes for attacking. Talking about this Mendiola team. Again, this is a team that was normally known to be good in the counter. Showing everyone here that that they can also hold possession as well. As Mendiola have a chance here after the quick throw-in. Hamed, dispossessed. Trying to find the runner on the left. Straight to Semblante. So this Mendiola team, lion share possession in the first half, around 58-42, and three shots for both teams and 3 on target for ADT. But really, Mendiola the more dangerous one for sure. And a foul in the middle. Sam hits the deck. So looking for terms of improvement for this ADT team, you have to feel that just simply getting out in the middle is going to be a problem. Take a look at that foul there coming from the number 5, Elijah Liao.
That's a big, strong tackle there on Sam, but what a fantastic pass that was from the centre-back, Kim, straight into Sam, nice and direct, and Mendiola have won themselves their first set piece in this half.
And bodies hit the floor there as Ngawang went up to get a hand to it. So you had Wade trying to impose his presence there, trying to make life difficult, and well, on that occasion, you can see the referee siding with the side of the keeper.
Yeah, the keeper had gone up nice and brave there, and of course, when the keeper goes in, he's allowed to protect himself. And yeah, there was most certainly a big contact there from Wade.
Awan playing that long, right down the middle. Aldeguer could not get ahead to it. Chung could not win it. ADT now on the attack, and Wade pushing forward, finding Sam. Sam trying to hold on to the ball and trying to flick it to Wade, but then loses it. Brose unable to get to it. And had the ball flown to the commentary area, Darren Hartman would have scored a goal from way over here. Take a look at Jaime Rosquillo on your screens right now, about to take the throw in. And there, so we're now seeing a bit more concentrated effort in the midfield for ADT as we take a look at Kaya FC getting ready for their game against United City in just a bit. Of course, we'll be calling that game for you at 7:15 kickoff, so don't go away. Referee says no foul despite the tackle, and Mendiola play on. De La Torre. ADT quick to get back into their positions, trying to stay disciplined here. Again, lining up in a 4-2-3-1, trying to clog up the middle. Crestal. Crestal playing it long, looking for Sam. Sam trying to hold up the ball, but can't keep it. Darapan working hard, keeping it. Chung in front of him. Aldeguer as well. Rosquillo. Rosquillo again. The cross in to no one on that left side. Better play here from ADT. We didn't see enough of those passes in that first half. Coach Norman there, who I'm sure made a lot of adjustments. Take a look, Tacardon, who's now making an appearance in this game, coming in for Pabualan. And that'll be a yellow card against Tacardon.
And I think there it's probably just talked himself into the book. Strong appeals when he first got on the ball and was showing his trickery. He's got good feet. And I think he felt that he was fouled when he just tried to roll it through the legs of an experienced left back. And of course, the left back wasn't having any of it, just stood strong.
Darpan on the attack again. Semblante goes to get it. They play long, looking for Sam. It falls straight back to ADT. Dennis Chung riding 2 tackles and getting fouled instead. And Dennis Chung, easily one of the more experienced members of this young team. Again, very raw, this ADT group. And could use the experience of a Dennis Chung.
Yeah, Dennis Chung has actually had a good game off the ball. He's been lively. He's been the first player really showing for the ball and trying to make things happen in the middle.
So the referee making sure everything's settled here as we get into a free kick here for ADT. Chance here to make a difference here, trying to be a bit more dangerous. Rosquillo goes all the way up for this opportunity. Not really headed away. Chance still here for ADT. Flores finally getting that to Suba. Suba on the attack. Sam in the middle. Hamed late run in the middle as well. Flores too. Suba gets it through to Sam, and what a save. Sam again. Frustration once more for Sam. 2 opportunities. First one saved by the keeper. Another one just hits the upright.
Yeah, and we're only 10 minutes into this second half, and Mendiola have already had 2 opportunities to get themselves level in this game. Suba doing a lot of work on the right hand side. Fortunate with a little ricochet to come through. But fantastic goalkeeping, just standing his ground.
Well, Mangawang wasn't called to action too much in that first half. Already seeing a lot more action here in the second. Dennis Chung on the left side now. Plays that high and over. Takardon trying to get to it, but no. That plays over. ADT applying noticeably a lot more pressure here.
The ADT have come out with a brighter attitude in this half, and really trying to bring the game to Mendiola a little bit.
Again, Aldiguer, who is wearing the number 9 and asked to play the number 9 role. Very young. Interesting to see how he does here against these physical center backs. They're playing 3 at the back, talking about Mendiola. Brose finds Aldiguer. Aldiguer. Again, so little space in the middle. Woods. From distance, goes straight to the keeper. Playing long and quick, looking for Flores and Sam. Takardon. Trying to get it past Cristal. Hamed trying to get it past Takardon, and the foul against Hamed. Hamed with a few sage words of wisdom. What he said? No idea. Dennis Chung now operating in the middle. Woods swinging it to Brose. Brose playing it short. Takardon on the right side now. Trying to set Aldiguer loose. Aldiguer had to get past Wade, unable to do so, but keeps possession and eventually gets it back. Takardon now. No one really in the middle here for ADT to aim at. Cristal had the touch to send it to, as a ADT throw. So no Custodio in the lineup. So that means I don't know if we're going to have the long ball weapon here for ADT that we're so used to seeing. Chung trying to ride the tackle again. Flores. De La Torre trying to go wide to Suba. Great touch forward. Sam in the middle. Easy for the keeper to handle.
Yeah, good first touch from Suba, but just couldn't quite get the ball cut back to his intended target.
Brose. Trying to find the runner. And the keeper, very confident play there. Sam holding it up and trying to get past Woods, unable to do so. So the referee blew the whistle here, has to check on something.
Yeah, the linesman had his flag up earlier for an offside. And I think when Mendiola transitioned into ADT's half, perhaps he could have put his flag down. Just let the play on.
Mendiola operating on the right now. We saw a while ago they were so patient at the back, now trying to be more direct in the way that they play. Kim keeping that, and they give it back to Wade. Wade, Cristal on his left. Cristal. Well, Takardon has been doing a good job so far in his cameo. A lot more active compared to Pabualan, who played a bit too deep for ADT's liking in the first half.
Yeah, I think ADT are slowly trying to, or are settling into the game a little bit more. And I think the introduction of Takardon has helped that. But Cristal hasn't really been up and down the pitch like he was against Maharlika. I'm not sure whether or not both him and Suba are struggling a little bit with fatigue because they put in such a big shift. But what's going to be the telling point for Mendiola is whether or not they can break down ADT and score a goal when they need to. And that's really what let them down against Maharlika, was knowing how to construct a goal.
Late whistle there. Foul against ADT. And again, the physical nature of the game continues between ADT and Mendiola. 1991. And Kim Min-soo still on the ground, the reliable center half of Mendiola. Really is his place at the heart of defense of Mendiola can't be understated. The way that he tries to dictate the tempo from the back. Very important to this Mendiola team.
Yeah, it's important, and I think as they keep doing it and keep getting accustomed to the movement ahead of them, they'll be able to play into their midfielders more often. I think sometimes it's going low rotation, the ball's getting built up a little bit, and then they're playing direct.
Actually, Kim Min-soo is now playing a bit higher than what he did a while ago. Now playing more defensive mid. You know, trying to open up the game more, this Mendiola team. Understandable considering that they are chasing the game. Cristal back to Wade. Sam trying to find the run of Suba. Foul there. Kalukaran wins that one. Woods trying to control tempo. JV Kalukaran forward. Ahmed trying to play it over to Sam. Ahmed again, using his close control to keep possession, wins it. Cristal giving it to the left. Flores. Foul by Rosquillo. And the referee needs to have a word and gives out a yellow card. So much better half here compared to that first. The ADT, their obvious rust showing. Haven't played in quite some time. And this Mendiola team, you know, since they're chasing the game, it feels a lot more open.
Yeah, there's been a lot more passes, a lot more combinations and patterns starting to appear in the game, and it seems as if, you know, Mendiola are able to play football a little bit higher up the pitch, but then we're starting to get that feeling that when ADT do get the ball, they can probably do something and build up themselves.
Mendiola trying to look for the equalizer here. Taking their time. All the big men of Mendiola up top. Wade and Sam, the obvious targets. They play low. And it'll be a throw in. Clearance finds Cristal. No mistake there so far as Wade plays it on. Flores tried to nod that forward. Clearance not there yet, and the referee calls for a foul. Playing that long, looking for Aldeguer again. But Cristal there to clean that up. Semblante. De La Torre. Back to Wade. Swing things around. Zabala. Wade now. Cristal on his left. Again, Mendiola. As I was about to say, content swinging things left and right. Eventually, they played forward to Sam. Sam holding possession up, waiting for reinforcements. Poor touch there, but it finds its way back to Mendiola. Kim. Back to Cristal. Kim. Ooh, great touch there to Ahmed. Ahmed retaining possession despite the pressure from Chong and Woods. Playing the ball forward to Suba. Had to get a foot up. Now Sam. Follow-up shot. Just maybe 3 goals too high. So substitution here for ADT. Sky Guerrero coming in for Jeremy Darapan.
Yeah, making his debut at this level. Obviously, I know Sky really well because he captained our side for 3-4 seasons. One of the most unlucky players, getting to this level because he was actually at Global, and then he went to Davao Aguilar and never got to play. Only played 1 game in the UAAP for Ateneo, and really proud of Sky making his debut here today. Rolled his ankle a couple of days ago, was looking to start actually, but let's just see if he can make an impact on this game.
Dennis Chug with the foul there. Sky Guerrero will come in on the right side. So let's see if he can make Darren proud. Of course.
I'll say 4 seasons with me and only took around 4 shots as well.
Really?
I'm just kidding. I said I'd wind him up a little bit if he ever made his debut. So.
Well, there you have it, Sky. Good luck watching this replay. Wade trying to find Sam. Brose trying to find Sky. Good feet from Sky. So let's see whether or not he can make a difference here. But right now, Mendiola up on the attack. Cristal could not find anyone. Mendiola still with the advantage possession-wise, not by a lot. Aldeguer trying to get the better of Wade there. Out-muscles him, but then takes him down. Referee says that's a foul.
I think Aldeguer there has every right to say that he was just using his physique properly. I felt that the ball was there to be, contested. He's definitely stronger than he was last season.
Zabala playing that forward. Cleared away by Rosquillo. Wade. Trying to find Suba. Kalukaran gets it. Chong. Aldeguer in front with him. Chong goes out by himself. Sky Guerrero trying to chase it, but then it'll be too far anyway.
And while Sky Guerrero and Kai are in the same frame there, just like to thank Kai FC as well for helping, keep Sky fit and giving him training and playing experience as well. As they prepared for the Champions League, they were very, very good at letting young players join in their training sessions and learn from, excellent professional football players.
Sky trying to find Aldeguer, but the flag is up. Wade trying to sort things out at the back. Kim coming very deep to get the ball before playing it long, trying to look for the run again of Sam. Just a Love tap there from Caloocaran. Approaching the 70th minute mark of this contest between Mendiola and ADT. If you're just joining us, ADT up 1-0 after a injury time penalty in the first half. Flores with the foul on Darapan, and the team captain from ADT, Scott Woods, getting the penalty that pushed ADT forward. But again, it was a first half that arguably Mendiola did edge, that Mendiola would felt that they should have had the lead in. But this ADT team, much brighter here in the second half against a very open Mendiola team right now. In fact, one of their center halves now playing in midfield, trying to apply more pressure in the middle.
But I believe that's where he played when he played for his college. So he's not unaccustomed. I feel like he was doing a job for Mendiola playing at the back, Kim.
Yeah.
And I think that is his stronger and most probably preferred position, getting on the ball a lot and making things happen.
And Flores now, acres of space, but the angle not right. Sam, can he get to it? No, the keeper gets to it first.
About third or fourth time that Mendiola have been able to work the ball and take advantage of the pace of both Flores and Suba, but just not quite got enough control over the ball to pick. Very composed there by Woods, just maybe lost for words for a second there. Very good coming out of the backwoods.
Well, the ADT need a bit more of that, to be completely frank. Playing it high again. Flores trying to get to it and unable to get the equalizer. What a save there coming from the ADT defender. Flores thought he equalized.
And that was Roskilio, I think, just the heroics, the man from Cebu who had impressed everyone last year as a very, very young defender playing at a high level. Wow.
Take a look at that again. So Flores clean through, and Roskilio timed that perfectly. And Roskilio still, he buried himself in the back of the net actually. Better him than the ball.
And the smile from Flores there just said it all.
Can Mendiola strike though? Good clearance there coming from ADT. Well, what a turn of events there. And Roskilio, who has been more active in this half, especially in the offensive end, showing everyone his sense of timing in the defensive end.
He was really one of the standout players, I thought, for Cebu, considering that he was playing alongside two really experienced centre-backs. And we would hope that he would bring a little bit of experience into this ADT team. And in the second half, he's really started to, feel a little bit more at home here.
Wade had to ride out the pressure of Aldeguer.
But it's also good to see Ashley Flores starting to look a little bit sharper. That's really good news for Mendiola.
Crestal finding Flores. Flores gives it to Sam. Sam couldn't turn. Move to the right. High ball. Straight to the keeper. Suba's been dangerous here for Mendiola on the right flank. Chung. Make sure the ball stays with ADT. And a lot more action-packed here in the second half, Darren.
Yeah, it's been a lot more entertaining. ADT have all of a sudden found a little bit of a spring in their step as well.
Cardon trying to play that low to Aldeguer, and the ball's still there, and finally The goal comes, and it's Sky Guerrero, the substitute, making his debut. There at the right place at the right time. Saved off the line, but straight to the feet of Guerrero.
I'm going to have to go back and edit the tape and say it didn't take any shots for me now, aren't I?
Yes, you do. But the goal for ADT. Making 2-0. Let's take a look at that sequence again. Great run from Tacardon. Aldeguer tried to bundle that in. What a save off the line. But Guerrero, right place, right time, right target as well.
Good composure, but you've got to give credit to the people who put the work in. It was well built up, started from Woods all the way out to the left-hand side. Tacardon, well, I've heard a lot about him. I believe he's from the Claret program and from a family of football players as well. And he obviously has got great feet. Good persistence by Aldeguer, and again, a cool finish from Sky Guerrero.
Cristal just floored Guerrero, but then the referee saying no foul there. Sam riding the tackle of Woods. As ADT is set to make another slew of substitutions. Flores on the left side. Resquillo with another good tackle. Couple of changes coming in. As Aldeguer will check out. As Lance Ocampo will come in. Also coming out is Mark Tobias for Jovan Marfiga.
Substitution for Azkals development. Jersey number
So a couple of changes here. One up top,
4,
one at the back.
Mark Tobias replaced by jersey number 23, Jovan Marfiga.
So Jovan Marfiga from La
Jersey
Salle
number
trying to make a difference here.
Aldeguer replaced by jersey number 11, Lance Ocampo.
So interesting to see how Lance Ocampo will play. Pre-pandemic, he was one of the rising stars of this ADT team. I was there covering their friendly against Philippine Army where they won 4-0, and honestly, he was one of the brighter stars of this ADT team. And on the other end, Altiche will be coming in for Mendiola. Coming out is Mariano Suba.
And I think that could just be a like-for-like sub. Suba hasn't had a bad game. I didn't think he played bad against Mahalika either. Maybe a little bit of fatigue because the way that he plays, he's running from so deep and he's really being asked a lot. It's a great shot.
Substitution for Mendiola.
Defense at the right place though. As Mendiola upping the pressure here. Trying to ask questions of this ADT backline, but ADT playing with a lot more confidence here. Now on the left side. Chung trying to hold that one. Tacardon gives it back to Chung. The runner from Lance Ocampo. Referee. Flag stays down. Ocampo can't get past Wade though. Again, so much more life here with this ADT team. Again, the calm play from the middle from Woods. And right now, the miscue coming from the substitute, Marfiga. Well, 2-0 right now. If we felt that Mendiola had the edge in that first half, despite being denied a penalty and conceding one, I think it's safe to say here in the second half, it's been ADT who have been in the ascendancy.
Yeah, Mendiola have had their moments and, I mean, maybe not had the run of the ball or the luck of the bounce. They had a couple of opportunities, one saved off the line and never really managed to capitalise on the momentum when they had the momentum. And ADT have been a lot better at least trying to build up and get the ball into areas and cause problems. So I think in terms of settling, ADT are more settled. And again, Mendiola just find themselves out of a game which they don't really deserve to be out of the game. They just need to really work out what they're doing in the final third.
Woods, back to Brose. Brose, trying to find the run of Lance Ocampo again. Ocampo working against Wade. Ocampo, trying to get just ahead of steam. Keeps the ball alive, but then Wade collects. Wade could not clear it. And finally, the whistle's blown. Hamed in the middle, working against Sky. Sky pulled back for the foul. What was the biggest difference for you for this ADT team, who really in that first half didn't seem like they were stringing any real passes together in the attacking third, or even past the halfway mark?
Perhaps a little bit of composure and confidence started to seep in, and they were being a little bit more patient, weren't scared to make the 5-10 yard pass just to get people on the ball and to build up.
Hamed. Chance here from distance. Bounce past a couple of defenders. Marfiga there with the clearance. Goes high. And Kim with a great touch away from the pressure. Well, Mendiola. Everyone attacking. Woods couldn't get the pass forward. Lucaran. Playing it forward here. Altice with a chance to play a good ball in. He does. Or rather not.
Yeah, they need to find more quality than that into the box if they're going to get themselves back into the game. I mean, with just over 8 minutes to go, you'll be able to count the number of opportunities that they're going to be able to produce. So it's going to be about quality and about doing it together as a team.
Chung. Ocampo in front of him. Sky Guerrero to his far right. What does he do here? Chung goes at it by himself. The ball is loose, and there it is. Lance Ocampo, the substitutes, making the difference here from ADT. And Lance, I mentioned it a while ago, he was a star pre-pandemic for this ADT team, who back then had a lot more recognizable names. And here he is, doing the business again, bearing it at the back of the net.
Yeah, it just happened that before the last Copa campaign, I believe on the eve of the first game, he tweaked his hamstring. And when your game is built around pace, it's very difficult when you get those sorts of injuries. But those are the sorts of injuries that, you have to deal with in your career when you're built around being quick and athletic like Lance Ocampo is. And I've seen him score many, many goals like that. But he's being deployed in a more central position since the last under-22 campaign. He wasn't actually used there a lot internationally, but in the build-up to the campaign, that's where ADT were looking at playing him.
All right, now let's see whether or not he can translate that to a higher level. But right here, the Copa Paulino Alcantara, he has been a difference maker for ADT. But can Sam put a dent into the record here? And that is off a defender and onto the side. Well, Semblante there on your screens just a while ago would be disappointed with how the scoreline looks, because for a big chunk of this game, it felt that Mendiola could have had a couple of goals already.
I said sometimes when the luck is against you, the luck's against you, and I don't feel that Mendiola don't have a goal within them this game.
Brose just playing that forward. Tried to be a bit too clever with Cristal. Course right now for ADT. The next challenge for them is to keep a clean sheet. Brose playing that long. Lanzo Campo. Chung with him. Chung able to retain possession here. Sky Guerrero and Brose are the options. Chung tried to play that across, but the curl at the ball did not favor Tacardon. Semblante taking his time here, looking for an option. Slew of substitutions coming on for Mendiola, Mitra, Tom, and Felicia all coming in. And Luis Clavor for ADT checking in as well. Brose will be checking out for ADT. Zabala coming out for Mendiola, as well as Kim. So really changing the back line for this Mendiola team. And also Ashley Flores coming out as well, and just handing over the armband to Hamed. And with Brose coming out for Clavor. Looking at how this ADT team is going to try and ride out the rest of the game. A lot of good, positive development after that lackluster first half. I'm sure there were a lot of fans concerned about this ADT team in that first half. But then adjustments, changes here in the second would make people a bit more optimistic with what they've seen.
Perhaps we can put it down to pre-competition nerves. A lot of people have also made debuts at this level today, and I believe Mendiola have just put on Jaime as well, who will be making his debut as well at this level.
Playing along here, talking about Mendiola. Lanzo Campo probably waited for the ball just a bit too much. Crestal. Back to Wade. Again, Mendiola just looking to dirty that clean sheet of ADT at the moment. But for Mendiola, you have to feel that we could say the luck was against them, the roll of the ball was against them, but you have to be hoping that this Mendiola team can find that little bit of luck, that roll of the ball to make a difference next time around.
Yeah, I think if they just keep on working hard, stick at it, keep on developing the style of play that they want to produce, then eventually they will get the roll of the ball.
Because right now we see the ideas of it for sure.
Yeah, it's been coming. I've seen it in the last game as well. They just need to keep on working together and getting more games under their belts.
And refining that approach for sure. Felicia. Rusquillo, great header away. Oh, Darren, do you have an obvious, non-biased man of the match pick in this game for you?
We currently have 3 players who come through our program on the pitch, so I think if we're going to be picking man of the matches, I'm going to abstain.
Well, we'll let the fans decide instead, but again, a lot of great choices to pick from. Woods throughout the game has been a calming presence in the middle, if ever understated because of the role that he's playing. Oh, and a bad clearance there. Sam, chance to put a dent into this one, and Mendiola asking for a handball. Referee not having it. Take a look at Sam's look. Obviously upset with the decision. I was mentioning you had Woods, you had Rosquillo, had a great second half as well, who I believe would have had a shout at least for man of the match.
I think one of the players who, maybe not man of the match, but had quite a big influence on ADT changing their playing style was the introduction of Takardon.
Yes,
I
Takardon
feel like he kind of showed that they could settle down on the ball higher up the pitch, and I think that led to more players believing in themselves, and that's what we call a cultural architect, someone who's built a belief or built something within a team.
ADT looking to ride this out. 4 minutes of added time. Ocampo has decided to play a bit more wide now. Just close this one out. Of course, that comes after the introduction of Clawar rather. Ocampo. Oh, he's still going. And Clawar stopped running because he felt that he actually lost the ball. Take a look at the United City, who are waiting for the end of this one. Again, they're playing against Kaya FC in just a bit. We'll be calling that game still at 7:15 kickoff time. Hope you can join us for that one, which could honestly be one of the biggest games or the pivotal match of the season that could help define what the standings are at the end of the tournament, or at the end of the round rather. Guerrero and Ocampo linking up, giving it to Woods. Woods swaying his options, swinging it down to the left back. Rocaran. Takardon. Now to Chung. Chance again from ADT. Can they make it 4? The cross is in. Straight to the keeper. Mendiola still pushing, still working, but unable to find any real quality in the final third in terms of passing and really to get any shot off. Of course, they had that one shot wherein they felt like they had a handball, but still probably could not make a difference. Of course, Ashley Flores had a shot cleared off the line by Rosquillo.
Yeah, a couple of penalty appeals as well where they're going to feel really hard done by. But the fact of the matter is, it looks as if with only 90 seconds left on the clock, Mendiola could be held to a game where they've not been able to really produce enough. Not just about quality, but perhaps not enough chances as well in the final third to really, convert and threaten to win this game.
Again, this Mendiola team will be felt hard done by. They had 2 penalty appeals denied and 1 shot cleared off the line. Had all those gone in, it would have been 3-3. But that's the way the ball rolls here as Sam, the ball just taken away from his foot. Aldiche. Ahmed. Working against Calucaran. Ahmed. Still him. Straight to the keeper. Less than 10 seconds here, and ADT still hungry for possibly one more. As I say that, they slow things down. And there you have it. Final whistle. 3-0 to ADT after a blistering second half full of chances. Again, this ADT team, their substitutes making the real difference here from Tacardon's introduction in the half, to Lance Ocampo coming in with the final goal, to Sky Guerrero coming in, to doubling up the lead of ADT. Inspired substitutions, great adjustments, and that first half, hopefully, for ADT banished to memory, and for Mendiola, so much frustration. They know that they could have gotten something from this game in particular. But right now, back to the drawing board for them as they still are on the hunt for the first point here in the Copa Paulino Alcantara.
Yeah, perhaps the Azkals development team going in at half-time 1-0 up was just the medicine that they needed to come out in the second half with a little bit more composure. Had that little safety net of picking up that penalty late in the first half. And I think that the performance in the second half will be where they would have wanted to have started the campaign. I mean, the first 45 minutes was, a little bit on edge. And of course, Mendiola were the first team to settle into their rhythm, having already played in this campaign. But the scoreline, really speaks for itself. Mendiola still have some work to do on, learning how to break teams down and get themselves ahead in terms of scoring goals.
Take a look at some of the highlights from this game so far. Dennis Chong with an early chance in the first half. Again, chances were few and far between for Mendiola and ADT. As we take a look at this one from Sam, that was well off the mark. And it was physical. There was so many bodies on the line here in this game in particular. But then after a very poor first half, we have to say, for ADT, they did answer the call. There was also a penalty that was given at the end of the first half. That was after a foul that I believe we're going to see in just a bit. Flores coming in hard there. And that was a penalty tucked in by the captain, Scott Woods, in his debut. On the other end of the half, we're going to see Mendiola on the attack very early, trying to make a difference. Not there, though. Take a look at this. That first save by Sam and then hit off the upright. And then take a look at that. Another look off target. They started out more aggressively. They had the right idea, but unfortunately, a lot of it not there. And eventually, we see the substitutes make a difference. Tacardon making a good one, as we see Flores with his run just a bit wide, unable to get to it was Sam. And of course, arguably the save of the game coming from Rosquillo. Right place, right time. And I'll let you talk about this, Darren. This shot here from Sky Guerrero. Poacher's finish.
Yeah, that's a huge moment in a young man's career, scoring his first goal in professional football. And then I'm going to have to check my history, but that possibly could be Lance Ocampo's first goal as well at this level. Although we know that, in building up to these campaigns, he's got himself on the score sheet. But they didn't have the majority of the possession, but they made use of the possession that they had. And it really was the second half which was telling for ADT when they really started to get into a better game flow. Although Mendiola will probably regret the chances that they didn't convert.
More shots, but the shots on target more efficient from ADT. And when you look at the way that the game was played, you have to say that this ADT team still trying to find each other's rhythm. Not the best game from them by any stretch of the imagination, being completely honest, but building blocks to build on for ADT. And for Mendiola as well, for sure.
And I mean, the result also will straight away put the Azkals development team into second place in the league. Of course, we've got that huge game coming up between Kaya and United City. But for a confidence boost, getting some goals behind them will also be positive points that they can reinforce in training as they prepare for their next game. Mendiola will be just looking at how they can capitalise on their possession, because if they got themselves back into the game earlier, I don't think the score would have ran up to 3-0.
Okay.
So right now,
Ready kami.
we have the man of the match that Darren did not select, but instead we had our more knowledgeable friends making the decision. Jaime Rosquillo.
Jaime, kamusta yung pakiramdam? Nakuha niyo yung una niyong panalo against sa Mendiola?
Okay naman po. Masaya kami na panalo kami first match.
Kamusta yung preparation niyo under Coach Nonoy?
Nag-prepare po kami para sa first match namin at para manalo.
Pag-usapan natin yung ano kanina, yung goal line clearance mo. Anong matakbo sa isip mo kanina at na-save mo yun?
Expected ko kasi po nakita ko po siya yung kalaban na tumatakbo sa goal at tumakbo din po ako.
Ano yung ma-expect pa ng mga tao sa batch ng ADT ngayon?
Sa akin, parang nag-game change po para maano namin yung second goal.
Ano pa yung ma-expect ng mga fans ng ADT sa inyo this year sa Copa?
Salamat po sa pagsusuporta. Dapat sana patuloy po yung pagsuporta sa ADT.
Okay, maraming salamat. Congratulations.
Thank you po.
There's an opportunity here, and we've got our first goal of the match. Leads it to Ramsey to make it 3-0.
Pero mga